Welcome to The Budget Mechanic. My name is Michelle and I'm here to help you with your budget, whether it's from a small minor tweak to a major tune-up to a complete overhaul. This channel will help you look at your budget and determine what needs to be done. Today, I want to talk to you about credit cards. Credit cards! Yes, it's my Monopoly credit card. There's lots of opinions out there on credit cards, ranging from never use them at all, they are evil, they are bad, just stay away from them. And for some people that may be true. Then there's the other camp at the other extreme, which says use your credit card to pay for everything you have. Use them to gain rewards such as cash back or travel miles so that you're actually making money on it. And that's possible too, but you have to make sure you're managing it properly. And what do I mean by that? So one of the things that's out there that you'll see on any of the big credit card explanations is always make sure to pay your statement balance in full every month and don't incur interest. Then you're golden. But what they neglect to say is, how are you paying for it? What is starting to happen is a lot of people are paying for this month's expenses that you've charged with next month's money, which effectively means that you're living on borrowed money. Now, there are ways to get out of that, and we will go through it. But to help with understanding what I mean by the fact that you may be living on borrowed money, let's do an example. So, like I promised, now we're going to do a demonstration of what actually is happening when you use your credit card and how you can look and determine if you are living on next month's income instead of your current month income. So I have here a little jar that represents the money I owe to the credit card company. So every time that I take my credit card and tap, you know, that wonderful invention we have in Canada, make it so fast, tap. Every time I tap that card, I'm going to owe money to the credit card company. And that's represented by each of these transactions. So I tap and I pay for groceries. I have my cell phone set up as automatic payment on my credit card, so it gets charged. I go buy a birthday gift. I've charged Netflix again, auto pay. My internet as well. Then I went to a restaurant, took some takeout or bought curbside in the current situation. I have another birthday. I've got Apple, so I have iTunes set up as a family plan. Charge that. I ordered in through Skip the Dishes, and I've got my utility set up. So I keep paying on that, and I keep starting the cycle again. Now these are in a different color, and I'll show you in a minute why. So I go ahead and I tap, I've bought groceries, I paid for my cell phone bill again because we're getting into that next month, and I bought some clothes, and I paid for my Netflix. In that time now, my credit card statement has come. Okay, now your credit card statement is going to be actual paper or it's delivered electronically. This is simply for tutorial purposes. So you'll get your credit card statement. Now the important thing to know about your credit card statement is it will have a beginning and an end date on the billing cycle. And in this case, we're going to say March 26th to April 27th. And that represents all the charges that were done from March 26th to April 27th. So in my example, all of these pink charges in here. So that's what's on your credit card statement. So I'll have my previous balance of things that were charged before, any payments I made, so I paid it off. So if I had a previous balance of $1,300, and then before the due date previous in April, I paid the $1,300. Now my new charges, which are these pink ones in the box as we've discussed, is $1,500. I've had no interest because I paid off the balance in full. So my new balance is $1,500. My minimum payment is $45 and I have to pay it by May 17th. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is nowhere on this statement does it say anything about these blue ones. Okay, so these blue ones are in here as well. That's what I still owe the credit card company. So how are you paying off these pink cards? When you receive this statement, can you pay these off right now? Or do you have to wait until you get paid again? If you have to wait, you're living on next month's income or a future income. If you can pay this off, and not just your pink, but your pink and your blue, and still live within your current obligations, then you are not living on next month's income, you're living on your current. So this is what happens. So now, let's imagine Monopoly money, it's great. Even in these millions, I get paid again. And this is $1,700. So out of my $1,700, I get paid, let's say on May 15th, I have to take $1,500, will pay off my gifts, but I still have this that I owe and additional charges that I continue to charge on here, my hobby, everything. And I can't pay this off right now. I have to wait for my next credit card statement to come in. So I'm charging things this month and I'm not paying till next month. If that is the case, you're actually living beyond your means. So how can you address this? How can you do it differently? Well, all of our transactions on our credit card are actually backed in cash and you can pay them off at any time. Now we're back and now we're budgeting out our money and working to make sure that our credit card is actually backed with cash. So how do I do that? So the first thing I do is I'm going to take all of my money that I've received and I'm going to allocate it out to all the different categories I have in my budget that I need. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a special category called credit card payment category. As I make transactions on my credit card, I'm going to move money from the category that that transaction belongs to and move it into my credit card payment. This is a holding category and I'm setting aside this money in anticipation of paying the credit card statement. Now, the nice thing is at any point in time, I could use this money to pay off my credit card in full, not just the statement balance, but the statement plus any outstanding charges and have no credit card debt. If you can do that, you are what some people consider a paid in full user, and you can switch between credit card and your debit card, and you never have to worry, where am I going to get the money to pay my credit card? It is already there. So let's just do some examples to show how that would work. So we have our credit card company where we owe. So I have my categories here. So the first one is rent. I don't charge that to my credit card. I pay my landlord and it goes as cash out the door. And I would record that as cash. The next thing I have is a bus pass. So I pay for my bus pass. Again, I can't use my credit card to pay for it. So I'm going to put it in cash and I'm recording that out the door, but it's against my bus pass category. Now the next thing is my groceries. And hey, groceries, I have a deal. I can get cash back on my groceries or just that I have cash back and I can pay for my groceries. So I go to the grocery store, tap that credit card, pay for my groceries. In my budget now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the amount of that transaction. So let's say it was $150 and I'm going to take it out of my groceries and I'm going to move it to that credit card payment holding category. So you can track this as a separate column so that when you have your charges come out of groceries, cash is one column, credit card payment, credit cards is another one, and then you'll start to keep a balance in there. So the same thing, I keep going along, and so again, I've swiped my card for groceries, so I have those groceries, but I have the grocery money in here. And then I buy a couple of birthday gifts, and I'm going to again take the money out of my gifts category and move it to the credit card payment, so that anything in the credit card payment is actually the exact same amount as what I have swiped on the card. So then I go to a restaurant, my internet that's set up, I'm going to pay for it, again moving, and my Apple subscription, and I move that. I'm going to continue to go on, but I'm going to move to the blue card. So I have my cell phone, again I put my cell phone and I take the money out of my cell phone category and move it to that credit card payment. My Netflix, move it over. Oh, and I went to a restaurant, so I'm going to come back to my restaurant and put some money in there, and my utilities, and take it out of that category. So now you can see that I have the same amount of money in my credit card company that I owe to them. If I add these up, would be the exact same amount of cash I have set aside to pay my credit card. So now my credit card statement comes again. Like we said, this credit card statement will only cover the items that are in our category here as represented by the pink, and it won't show any of the blue transactions. So when I go through, I'll have this, I have my new balance. Now, all I have to do is take out of my credit card payment category $1,500. We're not going to count it, we're just going to assume. So this $1,500 would represent all of these pink transactions that are part of this credit card statement, and I can send that to the credit card company and pay it, and I already have my money set aside for the next credit card statement with the cash here. And then I would keep repeating it, get my next money, put it in here, and do the same thing, transition money from the category to that credit card payment, and wait for that credit card statement to come in until I pay it. Now, what do you do if you think, you know what, I might be on that living on next month? So you have a couple of different choices of what you could do. You could take savings that you have and pay off the credit card balance in full, not the statement balance, but everything that you've charged to the credit card as of that date. Pay that off and then move to this system of allocating each paycheck to your categories and then moving it to that credit card payment category. The other thing you can do is you can also say, okay, I have to accept that. You only pay the money that you have set aside going forward for it. The balance that you owe on that day becomes debt, and you have to make a plan to pay off that debt. So let's say in this case that the $1,500 I owe, I can't pay all of that and still pay on cash. So $1,500 is the debt, and then I make a plan, say $100 a month, that would take me 15 months to pay it off. Yes, you will have to then also look at paying interest, but then you will get off of the issue of paying or living on money that you don't yet have. And it's going to be a bit of a shock if you move to this. I think a lot of people don't understand how much they're living on another month's income. You really want to be able to live on the money you have, save with the money you have. So I really hope that this video was useful for you. If you found it helpful, do subscribe, like, share this video with other people if they're struggling with their credit cards or learning more. And feel free in the comments to tell me what you liked about it, what other videos or information do you want about credit cards in regards to budgeting for future. So thanks, and we'll see you again next time.